Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hey, James.
All right, we'll start with questions for Coach.
James, you said back in Indy that you could follow up on those freshman receivers after you got through some practices. Any updated thoughts on those three?
I mean, JB had missed a lot of time, so he's still kind of working through that. And I know he feels really good, but he's still working back. It's a lot of time to miss, both physically and emotionally. So I think he'll just continue to get better every single week. Tyseer's really flashed and done some really nice things. This is very, very different, so there's still an adjustment period going on, but there's a pretty significant buzz in the program about him. And then Peter's been kind of steady Eddie. Really smart, understands how to prepare. I think having a dad that played major college football and had some time in the NFL is taking a very mature approach, very smart, very consistent. So really pleased with all three of them. Tyseer's probably the guy that right now is the closest to maybe helping.
If I could follow, you said he flashed. Is there anything specific that? What does that look like when a guy flashes?
Yeah, it's not one thing. I mean, it's route running, it's being competitive, it's his confidence with his hands and catching the ball, it's his ability to retain information. It's like he's just doing enough good things that you think he'll have a chance, but it's not like it's one specific thing that's standing out.
James, have you seen KJ Winston grow from year 2 to year 3?
Yeah, he's a man. He really is. He's so mature. He really knows how to practice, how to prepare. He's totally locked in, totally focused. Football is really important to him. I mean, I don't have enough adjectives for him. You look at him physically, he's beautiful. He's got a great relationship with the coaches, and he's kind of an extension from the coaching staff. I could go on and on and on. I think he's going to have a big year for us. And I think he's got a very, very special, bright future.
James, what were you hoping to get done through the first week and a half or 7 practices, I guess it is, going into these preseason drills, and how do you think you've accomplished what you wanted to do, or are there areas where you haven't quite gotten there?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, right, is when you do have some turnover on the staff, especially at the coordinator positions, you don't want to feel that. You don't want to feel that way. And under the old rules, it was almost impossible to not feel that way. And under the new rules, with what we're able to do in the summer and the expanded coaching staffs, we really could get a lot done. So it doesn't feel that way. Offensively, defensively, you guys have heard me say this enough. There's enough that we kept the same, but still, there's enough wrinkles that it could make the kids play slow and have hesitation. And I think the coaching staff has done a really good job of grinding through it, and I think the players have done a really good job all summer, so that it doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like we're working through some things. It doesn't feel that way. So I've been very pleased with that. And then obviously you're trying to kind of figure out what type of team you are, how physical you are. I think you guys have heard me say this as well. Like the rule changes. There's not as much tackling anymore, so how do you get enough tackling that you got a chance to be good at it, but not too much that you put yourself at risk? It's always kind of the fine line and the struggle. But it's been a physical camp, and I've been pleased so far with what's going on.
What does right tackle look like right now through the first week or so?
Yeah, Donka and Rucci are in a battle. Rucci is another guy. I don't want to use the same expression twice, but steady Eddie. He's and a lot of times with O linemen, if you don't notice him, it's a good thing, and he's just kind of doing his job and getting better. I think he's gotten comfortable with the weight that he's put on as well, and then finding that sweet spot of what the right weight is for him to play, so that he's got a chance to block Abdul and also deny, which are two very different type of players. But he's doing really well, and I think you guys have all seen what Donka was able to do as a true freshman was pretty impressive. So that's been good. And then we also think JB Nelson can and will play right tackle for us as well. JB's kind of a Swiss Army knife. We think he could play right tackle, we think he can play both guards, and we think he can play left tackle as well. We're very pleased with JB. We think he's got a very, very bright future. So he'll factor in as well.
James, Cooper Cousins had a lot of momentum in the spring. How have you seen him carry that in fall camp?
Yeah, I don't like to talk in ways that's going to create, crazy expectations, but I could not be more impressed with him really from the beginning. He was as low maintenance and highly rated recruit I've ever been associated with him. We offered him. They walked around the corner of the building, they walked back and said, "We're coming." And it was over, and that was it. And that was early. I think you guys remember, it was committed 2 years early. No issues, no wavering. Family so appreciative. Awesome. Shows up on campus. He is competitive. A lot of guys say they want to play as true freshmen, but they're not willing to do necessarily what it takes. And the guy is either in class or in the building and asking a ton of questions. He's super aggressive. He's not intimidated, afraid of anybody. And then every night, I shouldn't tell you this because you guys will be out here with your cameras, but I'll come from watching film and I'll go to bathroom, we're watching film, it's 9:45 and I walk to my office and he's out there on the field every night at 9:45 with headsets on, doing pass sets. And it's kind of weird, to be honest with you, but he is as driven and as committed as a young player as I've ever been around, and specifically on the O-line, because it's hard to play those grown man positions, O-line and D-line, as a true freshman. But he's going to be hard to keep off the field.
What's the impact of Dom as a captain? I think he's a leader. He's the only captain back. What does he bring to the table as far as that?
Yeah, you guys keep asking me all these questions. I'm raving about all these guys, but Dom's another one. His story, being the player of the year in the state, torn ACL, gray shirt, walk on, earned the scholarship, captain. They could make a movie about Dom, right? He's that type of kid. Parents, are awesome. Starts out as a special teams guy, dominates in that role, then an expanded role on defense, does really well there. He's just another guy that I think is maximizing his Penn State experience, and everybody respects and loves him. The players, the staff, the coaches. He's an unbelievable representative of Penn State and what we're all about. Blue collar, hard-nosed, coal region kid. I can't say enough good things about him. I really can't. I'm a big fan of Dom, and I think he's going to have a really good year for us. Obviously, we know as a special teams player, but also on defense.
Hey, James. Sometimes during camp we get the conversation of how's the offense versus the defense.
That's pretty aggressive with all those buttons unbuttoned like that. All that.
Normally
I've never seen a polo with all of them unbuttoned like that.
I normally like to have the bottom one button and most of them unbuttoned.
Oh, I got you. So that's not
just by accident.
Yeah, it's not.
No, this is the look. This is what I go for sure.
No, you said you normally have the bottom one.
Yeah, but it's not much different.
No, that's a big difference. That bottom button that's an aggressive decision.
So sometimes during this point in camp, we'll have the conversation of, is the defense ahead of the offense, or how are they doing in the competition portion when you guys get a view of that? So how is the offense competed against the defense?
Yeah, good question.
And where is that kind of process?
Good question. It's more even than it's been in the past. What I would say is we're still inconsistent with that, where in terms of, to me, it should come down to 1 or 2 reps in every period who wins. And we have that, but then we have other days where the defense dominates a period. Then we'll have other days where the offense dominates a period. And what I talked to the guys about is we can't have a bad quarter on offense or a bad quarter on defense. We gotta make sure for the games that we want to win, we gotta play really well in all three phases. So it's more competitive than it's been in terms of the score, and we keep score. Every single day we put it up there. We track explosive plays, we track turnovers, and then we track competitive periods and who won the periods. And I want to say it's been tied more than it hasn't been, during camp.
James, you talked about in year 11 not reinventing anything. On defense, you had Brent Pry for a number of years, Manny Diaz. What is Tom Allen doing that you think is similar, but also where is his defense going to look a little bit different?
Yeah, I think the majority of it is similar. The 4-down front, the attack front. I think where we changed with Brent from Manny is we were more of a quarter, half team with Brent that did play some man coverage, and we became more of a man coverage team with Manny. It's interesting when you look at the statistics, not as much as you would think, but more of a man coverage team, and I think we'll continue that. We just had so much success with it, and for me, I'd like to, and so with our defensive staff, I just would like to take away all the gimme yards on the field. When you get access with soft coverage and zones, it's comforting as an offensive coordinator or quarterback to know they're giving you field access. So being able to take all them easy yards away, it creates pressure, and that's how we'd like to continue to play. So that's been very similar. So really, there's just been a few tweaks in terms of obviously some coverage variations that we think will complement what we do. Some blitz combinations as well. Some blitz variations that will complement what we do, but not a whole lot different. Again, Tom was able to spend a lot of time here and make sure he was comfortable with that, and everybody felt like that was in everybody's best interest. And it's worked out really well. And then having, again, you remember different coordinators, but the staff's change. And that's usually not the case. Usually when a coordinator comes in, he wants to bring people, but I'm really loyal to those guys, and they've done a good job. They've earned that loyalty. And I think Tom and, both Andy have seen the type of staff that we have here, and it's worked out really well.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Guys, we have players behind you, and then we'll have Coach Allen at the backdrop in a minute.